All right, what's up, League? It's that time. It's week 13. It's that time of year, guys. Every game matters. So I'm not going to do a game of the week this week. I'm just going to go through all the games and pick them. We've already went over what the playoff predictions or what the playoff setups will be if the playoffs started this week, but they don't. So there's still a couple of teams who are vying for an opportunity for the playoffs. So we'll see how it goes. Real quick, just an overview. The power rankings, the way they situated right now, you have Power T still sitting at number 1 in the power rankings. You got Big Wolf at number 2. You got SEL, 4-time champion, number 3. You got Baker King at number 4, and you got Rocky B at number 5. Infantry Warriors right there behind it, but not far off. Then in the pick'em, right now we got Power T sitting in number 1 there. We got Huckleberry number 2, Infantry Warrior number 3. Bulldogs number 4, and King of the Gridiron right out the top 5. But there's a lot of teams still in the mix. I don't think anybody, even if you go all the way down to number 10, are within 5 games of that top spot. So Pick'em is heating up. So let's get to the matchups real quick. So King of the Gridiron versus the GOAT. Both these teams still have a shot at the playoffs because of the record and what possibly could go down with Swagner. You got GOAT 5-7, King of the Gridiron 4-8. Dak versus Aaron Rodgers, Travis Etienne and Devin Singletary versus Ramondre Stevenson and Antonio Gibson. At the end of the day, where this starts to separate for me, I can break down both sides of it, but I'm looking at Travis Kelce, who's always going to trump whatever tight ends on the other side, and the Seahawks defense getting the Rams this week. I'm taking King of the Gridiron to get a win. Going to really make the playoff situation murky over there because you'll have both of them sitting at 5-8 after this week. Next up, you'd have Laugh Now, who's 4-8, versus Swagner at 6-6. And so Swagner, he's got some injuries that he's dealt with Cooper Kupp. Now you add in, he's having to put Ryan Tannehill in and sitting Kyler Murray because he's on bye. He's not able to start James Conner, who's been his better running back. But Jamal Williams is not a pushover. He's, goal line guy for the Lions still, Cordell Patterson. But the receivers that he's relying on, you just can't rely on them. On the flip side, Laugh Now, he's got 3 rookies, and believe it or not, you can rely on those 3 rookies. Olave, Garrett Wilson's not a rookie, it's his second year. Garrett Wilson is a rookie, my bad. Garrett Wilson and then Drake London. So I'm going Laugh Now. It's not really an upset, but he's really going to make things murky because Swagner then goes to 6-7, and Laugh Now moves up to being 4-8. So I'm sorry, 5-8. So that makes them only 1 game apart. And then if I believe it or not, then you would have, with GOAT losing, that would kind of throw things off on that. But nonetheless, you get where I'm going on this. So next game is Huckleberry and Infantry Warrior. Huckleberry and Infantry Warrior, same division, but Huckleberry being 4-8. He's one of those few 4-8 teams that are out. So Huckleberry, he's got Jacoby Brissett in, but he's going to go with Kirk Cousins. He's got a decent lineup with Ezekiel Elliott and Swift, but it's just going to be hard to take down Tua, Derrick Henry, Joe Mixon, Treylon Burks, Michael Pittman, Isaiah McKenzie. The list just goes on. We'll see what the Chargers, what he gets out of Everett. I think it could be one of those Justin Herbert weeks too, though. So I'm going to go with Infantry Warrior to get win number 7, continue on in his playoff run. So good luck to them this week. Next up, we got Rocky B at 7-5 versus the Big Wolf at 10-2. Big Wolf sitting in at 2 seed. He's got Lamar, Josh Jacobs coming off a big game, Aaron Jones. Hopkins is on bye, but he'll switch him out at some point. Anyway, y'all know the roster. Man, I think this is the time of year. Joe Burrow went on a heater last year. He went on a tear. He's getting Jamar Chase back now. So watch out for Joe Burrow these last few weeks of the season. Nick Chubb is going to be in line against Houston. They'll have a lead, so he'll get a bunch of run. Dalvin Cook is always in the mix. Keenan Allen, again, I keep talking about Justin Herbert and what we'll see, which I'll get to him when I talk about Power T. But Keenan Allen is back. Gabriel Davis can always have those big games. And then T. Higgins getting what Joe Burrow is going to be throwing up. So anyway, hard to pick against Rocky B, but I can't make a pick in any games right now, especially those that involve with the Big Wolf organization. So due to my affiliation with the Big Wolf organization, I cannot make a pick in this game. Good luck to both of y'all. And I know Wolf has practiced hard, and we'll see how those guys play this week. So good luck. Next up, we got Bulldogs versus Greatest Show on Paper. Tom Brady versus Josh Allen. I'm going to pick Josh Allen on that one. Saquon and Rachaad White versus David Montgomery and Kareem Hunt. David Montgomery and Kareem Hunt, they're household names. David Montgomery's got the job to himself, but I'm going to go the Rachaad White and Saquon Barkley side. Stephon Diggs, Christian Kirk, and Tyler Lockett. I'm going to take them over Mike Evans and Khalif Raymond and Adam Thielen. Dawson Knox versus George Kittle. It could be a George Kittle week, so I'm going to go that. Patriots versus the Buccaneers defense. Probably going to lean the Buccaneers defense this week just because you don't know how. But those divisional games, man, you can never count them out. They're both really rested. Tough game to pick, but looking at the firepower, and it could be the receiver week, I'm going to go with an upset. I'm going to take greatest show on paper to upset Bulldogs, and he'll be 8-5, making the playoffs a little bit murky. Not saying he's out of it, but just making it a little bit more interesting going down to that last game of the season. Next up, Fire Dogs 5-7 versus Dark Knight 6-6. Got Deshaun Watson making his debut with him. He's got Jeff Wilson in the lineup right now, but I'm sure he'll probably add Dameon Pierce. But then again, he might not. Dark Knight's got a great receiving core coming in this week. Devontae Adams, Chris Godwin, Alan Lazard, and Cortland Sutton. Although, really can't say Cortland. He's great, but his quarterback play hasn't been great, which has made him come down a little bit. I'm not sold on Fire Dogs as tight ends either. The Falcons defense, they're trash. Sorry. But the Chargers defense going against the Rams, that should be pretty nice. So I'm sorry, no, they're going against the Raiders. I got the LVR instead of LAR. So Chargers defense, we'll see how they do with that. But nonetheless, all that doesn't matter because Dark Knight has a better roster this week with Mahomes, with his tight ends, with his receivers. So I'm taking Dark Knight to go 7-6. And again, just make that final game of the regular season more interesting to watch. Next up, we got STL four-time champ versus AGM for life. Rough season for AGM for life, only one win, but it hadn't stopped him from making moves and tinkering with his lineup. He's got a lineup, man. He's putting his best out there. Jonathan Taylor and Isaiah Pacheco. That's going to be a great matchup going up against Christian McCaffrey and Kenneth Walker. But I still lean towards the Walker and McCaffrey side. Receivers, Chase, Debo, and Christian Watson. Man, I could keep breaking it down more. It's not going to be a cakewalk by any means because it's a rivalry game, and whenever these two match up, it's always a big matchup. But STL is going to take the win. He'll get win number 9 for the season and continue to lock in that 5th seed in the playoffs. And then finally, we got Power T versus Baker King. Power T, everybody knows, only one loss. Baker King is 7-5. They've been talking the most trash this week. It's going to be an epic matchup. It's going to be a high-scoring game because you look at Hurts and Herbert. Those two can cancel each other out. Austin Eckler versus Tony Pollard. You never know the breakout speed that Tony Pollard has. Miles Sanders, he's been getting a lot of run with Philly, catching passes. He's been doing a little bit of it all. Tyreek Hill, we know he can have a monster. CeeDee Lamb versus Amara St. Brown, I consider that a wash. Jalen Waddle and Devontae Smith, I'm taking Waddle on that. Quez Watkins, I don't know where he fits in the scheme, but you look at what Mark Andrews' points, you're going to see that increase. And TJ Hawkinson over Tyler Higbee. The kickers, Justin Tucker is the best kicker in the world, so we'll take him. And then their defenses are playing against one another, so you can cancel those out too. I'm going with pedigree in this, and I'm going with the history. Power T wins. Power T continues to lock up that number 1 seed in the playoffs. Baker King is almost set. That last game of the season is what's going to matter most for him. But if he wins this week, I think it locks it down for him even more. But just with the playoff setup right now, it's hard to count Baker King out. So there you go. Those are the picks for this week. Hope y'all enjoyed. They're always 100% correct. I've never gotten any of these wrong. You can go back. You don't need to check receipts. I'm just telling you right now. So my picks are always 100% accurate. So enjoy the games this week. Hit me up. If you have any, if you don't like my picks or if you think I picked it wrong, feel free to leave comments. It only helps my ratings go up any higher. But other than that, enjoy.